Hi everyone, my name is Keely and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for another soap making video. Today's soap has been inspired by the trip that we did in early December. One of the places we went past was called Summerland Camel Farm, and they're only about an hour away from where we live. I had no idea they were actually that close. I knew they were out in the direction we were traveling, but just had no idea they were so close to home. Now when we went there, it was actually on our way back home, and I had this kind of idea of getting some camel milk and making a camel milk soap with it. It was, however, very, very hot, and I didn't think I'd be able to get that camel milk home safely. And then I didn't actually know how long it would be before I could actually make the soap. So I kind of thought, oh, maybe it's not a good idea. But while we were ordering in the cafe, I noticed that they had camel milk powder. So you could actually make your own camel milk up, much the same as you can make goat's milk powder and cow's milk powder as well. So I grabbed myself a bag of that so I could make the soap when I actually had the time to do it. I was so excited about it. I actually made time to make this soap in between everything else I had to do, and I'm adding things like honey and turmeric into this soap as well, which I'll explain a little bit more as we get into the making of the soap. And I am super happy with it. It is going to be one of the soaps I'm offering in a new range of soaps that are coming in 2021, and that is a luxury range of soaps. They're going to have some more sort of exotic ingredients and different butters and things like that, and this is going to be one of the first ones that gets released. I am cutting it slightly different to some of my other bars just to differentiate it, but it will end up being the same size bar as all the others. So let's go and see how I make Golden Camel Latte. Let's go. This is going to be the absolute star of this soap, but we do have some other goodies which are going into it as well. So when we stopped off at this camel farm, which is probably about 40 to maybe 50 minutes away from us, I was super happy to see that they had this camel milk powder. They had fresh camel milk as well. I just didn't feel that I was going to be able to get it home because it was really hot, be able to get it home and then get the soap made within that time before that fresh milk went off. So I was really, really pleased to actually find that they had this as an option. And the instructions on here is to mix 3 tablespoons of powder, which is about 15 grams, with 150 ml of hot water. Now I have got my soap recipe here and I've popped it through. We're going to be making a big slab of this one, and it's telling me that I need 1,120 grams of water. So actually what I'm going to be doing is taking away that 300 grams from off of there. So I'll be needing 820 grams of water to dissolve my lye water in. So what I'm going to do is go and measure out 300 grams of distilled water. I am going to heat it up because it says it needs to be added into hot water, and then we're going to make this camel milk powder. Alright, so that is looking like it is dissolving really well. I will leave this one to cool down before adding it into all the soap oils, which you will see later on. Now, camel's milk is incredibly good for you. It is really good for digestion. If you do have dairy intolerances, as I do to cow's milk, you may find that this is one of the milks you can actually still drink. Of course, check with your doctors before you go eating it. For me, it's the casein, which is in milk, which I can't tolerate, and camel's milk has little to none in it, so I'm actually able to tolerate this, and it's really good for anyone's sort of digestion system. It's also got lots of great skin care properties, and this place we went to, which was Summerland Camels, they had an entire range of skincare products, and I tried them all and they were just so nice, really hydrating on the skin. It's full of lots of minerals and vitamins and things as well, which really helps with a lot of sort of sensitive skin issues. Not making any claims about that because this is actually a wash off product, but if you actually go and read the information on their site where they've had it all tested, they'll tell you exactly what their products or what the camel's milk will actually do for your skin. So it got me thinking, what else can I add in with an ingredient that really is so good for the skin? And I decided that I would match it in with a little bit of honey, and I am using this one. This is honey from off of a friend's beehive. It is pure Cleveland organic honey. These hives are actually not far from where I live. She's got them scattered all throughout sort of the Redlands district, which is what I'm in, and there's hives that are literally only a couple of minutes away from where we live. But I really enjoy using this honey. I love eating it as well. It always tastes different all throughout the year. Beautiful colouring in it as well. Smells really good. Honey is meant to have lots of sort of antibacterial sort of properties, antiseptic properties. Really good for the skin as well, and I love using it in the soaps. It does provide a really gorgeous sort of lather to your soaps because of all that sugar. So what I'm going to do for now is actually just weigh out the honey that I will be using. Just before adding it into my soap, I will actually warm it up slightly so that it becomes even runnier than this, and that just makes it much easier to incorporate into the soap. So by the time I get this spoon cleaned off, I should have the 40 grams or thereabouts that I'm going to need. So just need a tiny bit more. Right, so we've got the honey now all prepared. So I started to get curious about my sort of idea for this camel milk and honey soap, and I had a look on Google to see if anyone else had done something similar. I got a couple of pictures for either a honey soap or a camel milk soap, but I didn't get one that was combined. But what I did get lots of photos of was a camel milk golden latte. Now, if you've not had a golden latte, basically it is a milk drink that has been infused with turmeric. So I thought, why not make a turmeric infusion to go with my honey and my camel milk? Because again, turmeric is super good for the skin. Again, full of lots of antibacterial, antimicrobial sort of properties. And I figured, why not give this a go? So I'm going to make an oil infusion because I'm going to actually do it two ways. We're going to do a bit of an oil infusion, and I'm also going to add some directly into the soap to get two different sort of colours. And what I'm doing here is I'm pouring in about 30 grams of olive oil, which is one of the oils I use in my soaps. And the next thing I'm going to do, looking for my spoon here, I am going to put in, it actually says a tablespoon. So I've got my tablespoon here. I want this to be a fairly dark colour when it comes out. So I'm going for 1 tablespoon for 30 grams of oils. So I'm going to add that directly in there like so. Now I am just going to go and pop this in the microwave for about a 20-second burst just to warm that oil through so we can start getting that sort of oil infusion. Alright, so that has just been heated up. I ended up giving it about 40 seconds. We're up to about 52 degrees in here, which is plenty warm enough to do an oil infusion. In about an hour's time, I am going to pop it back in the microwave just to warm it up a little bit more. If I was doing more or I had multiples of jars, I would actually set myself up a bain-marie system, but I don't have any pots that are small enough to set up a bain-marie just for this one little jar, and I don't want to infuse anything else yet. This is the first time I am doing the oil infusion, so I want to see how it goes before I infuse any more. So I'm going to leave this one sit here for probably about 4 to 6 hours before I am ready to use it. I'm doing all my prep work the day before I make the soap, so that it is all ready at room temperature. So as I said, I'll leave this one sit 4 to 6 hours to infuse, and then when it is ready, we'll grab a coffee filter and we'll pour the oil through the coffee filter to get rid of all the little speckles that you get from off of the turmeric. What I will say is be very careful with this. As you can see, I have got yellow all over my gloves. So if you take this spoon out, make sure you put it in the sink and wash it off. Don't put it on your side because you will get a yellow bench. But they are sort of the three main components of the soap. What I am now going to go and do is make up the rest of my oils. I'm using my standard sort of recipe, which is down in the description box below. As mentioned, when I do my water component to go with my lye, I'm only going to be using 820 grams of water instead of that 1.12 to dissolve that 500 grams. So I'm going to go and get all that ready. I'll leave it to cool down overnight, and then we'll be back in just a moment to make this soap. Alright, so I have let everything sit here overnight, back the next day to make this soap. I have got just a little tea bag thing I have been sent for as a freebie in one of my orders. And what I'm going to do, you could do this with a coffee filter paper as well, but I'm just going to pour this oil and all of that turmeric in here, because the idea is I only want the coloured oil. The turmeric can actually leave little grainy bits behind. So I actually want to get rid of all of that sort of sludge from out of here. And I know I'm scraping a lot of that out, but I'm also trying to get as much of that coloured oil out of here as possible. I am going to go and pop that straight into the dishwasher so I don't get yellow oil everywhere. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just give it a little bit of a helping hand and give it a bit of a squeeze so all of that beautiful coloured oil starts actually dripping out of here. Alright, so we have got enough oil out of there to do my colorant, so let's start putting this soap all together. Alright, so I have got everything ready. I'm probably about 5 minutes late from starting filming this. I was trying to beat this deluge of rain. I'm actually making this on a Sunday morning. That's right, Sunday. I should be at markets. However, the weather here, it has been predicted to be really bad today. We've got really heavy rain, up to 8 centimeters of rain is expected. We've got winds ranging from, I think it was like 32 up to 40 kilometer per hour winds, with wind gusts of much higher than that. So the markets, on a very, very rare occasion, these have actually been cancelled. We are an all-weather market, so we do rain, hail or shine. But when it's really, really windy like this, if we were to set up and anything happens, insurance just won't cover us. So the actual decision was made to cancel today's market for everybody's safety. So I thought, why not soap? I thought I was going to beat this rain that was coming in. Obviously not, but you guys seem to like the sound of the rain on my roof, so we will keep going with it. So I have got everything here, and because I had that sort of Middle Eastern theme, the fragrance oil I went for was something called Orange Patchouli from Nurture Soap. It's got this really bright, fresh, zesty citrus smell that comes off the top of it, and through the middle it's got this really sort of alluring smell of violet. That's to me what violets do. They've got this sort of smell that you keep going back to smell even more. And then on the bottom there is some oak moss, cedar and patchouli. It's a really nice fragrance oil. It does say in the notes that it does turn the soap a yellow, which I'm not worried about, because after all we're using the turmeric. I really want that sort of yellow base in here. So I'm going to start actually mixing all this together. First thing I am going to do is actually add my camel milk into my oils. So let's grab that, pour all of that in. I will give it just a quick mix. Now I'm going to add in my lye water. Once I've got this mixed up to emulsion, I'm actually going to add in my honey, and then we'll split it up for some colouring before pouring it into our big mould. Now that we have split up for colour, I'm actually going to leave this one in its natural sort of state. I am going to put the fragrance oil in it as well. This one in here, I'm just going to actually pour all my fragrance oil in here. It does say that it behaves really well, so let's hope it does, because I'm doing this a bit backwards today. But, you know, We'll see what works. It should actually behave quite well. What I'm going to do in this bigger pot, I am actually going to add turmeric powder. And the reason being is I actually want to see what the difference is in colour between doing that oil infusion and adding the powder directly. I should actually get a brighter colour, and some say it goes this red, which I can see it's already doing in there. It will also leave a speckly effect throughout the soap, and it should probably also leave a little bit of exfoliation, so I think that's going to be really nice. Into my main batter, I am going to add the infused oil so we get a nice sort of gentle yellow colour, and that will hopefully also come through with that fragrance. So I'm going to get all this mixed in together, then we'll go and grab the mould, and I'm going to keep the actual pour of this quite simple. I am going to do a drop of it, and then we'll probably run a chopstick or a spoon through it just to get a little bit of movement in those colours. Look at that red that it's going. That is gorgeous. Wow, look at the colour. That's gorgeous. Alright, so the mould I am using today, this is that split mould that I got from Dean over at Swirls Soaps. I'm actually going to be using this mould to create a whole new range of soap lines, sort of a luxury line of soaps. It's going to give me a bit of a different cut on my soaps, and that's what's going to differentiate them between sort of my everyday really colourful sort of in-bed sort of soaps, and then what these are going to be, which are going to be sort of like a more luxurious style of soap. It is a brilliant mould, as you'll see later when we go to unmold our soap, and I have actually just ordered a second one in from Dean as well, so really excited to get that. Loving these colours, this turmeric and the fragrance oil. That's gone a really pretty yellow. I don't know if you can see on here, if we can get it close enough. My actual camera screen needs cleaning, so I can't see it all, but you can actually see all the speckles of the turmeric in that. I think this is going to be so pretty. Can't wait to use it. Let's get all of that poured in. I'm going to pour the rest of this in, and then I will have a bit of a play with the top. Oh, so here it is. This is looking absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to get this one cut open. I've been wanting to make it ever since we got back from off our trip. I know that with natural colorants that the colors do tend to fade, so I'm hoping that overnight the two darker yellows will get a very different color to each other, and you can definitely see the speckles of the darker yellow in here. So really excited to see what this one looks like when I cut it open. We'll be back in just a moment and we'll take a look. Oh, we are now ready to unmold this camel's milk or Golden Camel Latte. What I'm going to do is on the side of this mold there are some Velcro tabs. So I'm just going to take those off. The Velcro tabs help to hold this mold all together. Now what I'm going to do is just split it, hopefully. It's quite heavy. So I'm going to split that off like so. And now I should be able to just pull that out nice and easy. Absolutely love how easy this mold is to use. I will leave links down in the description box so you can go and check out Dean's site. He does have these molds. He's also got the log splitter, which we are about to use to split this one up with, and he also has another sort of mold if you are into using the silicone in those silicone tube molds to do all of your embeds with. He has a special mold that he's done up that actually holds those in place while you are pouring into them, which looks really good. Oh, this one's, I've just got this sudden hit of orange out of this. It smells really good. I'm going to go and get the log splitter, and then we're going to get this one cut up, and then I am going to get the single bar cutter because I'm going to cut this up slightly differently to how I do all of my other soaps. So I am super happy so far with how this is looking. It has gelled. You can see there's an obvious sort of difference from around here to the end. So all the middle bars have actually gelled. It smells amazing. This is a really nice fragrance oil. It's got that sort of really fresh pop of the orange in this, but it also has those slight undertones of that patchouli and the oak moss coming through as well. So it's a really nice combination. Now I am going to cut this soap differently. My whole Luxe range is going to be cut differently to my other bars. We're going to have some more chunkier sort of soaps for this one, just to really differentiate them. So I'm going to get that piece off the end. This is going to become a sample piece which will go out into some orders, and let's start getting these ones cut. So shuffle that one along and through we go. Alright, so let's grab it out and have a look at it. Just pull it up slightly. That is the inside of our Golden Camel Latte. I am so super pleased with that. Loving the colour this has come up. I think I have lost the natural or the uncoloured part of the soap I added in here, but it may actually pop out over time because this turmeric is likely to fade as it cures. If you follow along with me on Instagram, once these are ready in about mid-January, I will be posting pictures of them so you can actually see what they look like once they've finished curing and whether or not that colour holds. It possibly could hold because the fragrance oil does have that discoloration of yellow, so that could really help with keeping that turmeric colour to hold in here. I am loving that slightly darker colour with the little speckles through. Last time I tried using a natural colour and I didn't realise I had to really strain it, and I'd used, I think it was alkanet root powder, and it was really grainy and I didn't like the texture of it on the skin, mainly because I wasn't expecting it to actually be exfoliating, and it wasn't what I wanted in that bar of soap. So now I actually know you need to kind of strain those oil infusions. That's hopefully going to help with this, but I do like having that slight speckled look in just a little bit of this soap, so I'm really pleased with it. Really happy with the colours, the smell, everything about it. Can't wait to be able to actually use a bit of this myself. I have saved a little bit of the shaving from when I cleaned it up before running it through the splitter. Ideally, if you do want to test your soaps, you do need to let them cure for that sort of 4 to 6 week time, just so they go nice and mild, the water evaporates out and become nice and hard. But once a soap has fully saponified, so usually give it about 48 to 72 hours to do its full saponification, then you can actually try these little sort of test bits. So I'll leave this sitting on the side for a couple of days and then I will try it to see what it is like. You're not going to get a true indication until the soap is fully cured, but I really want to try it, so I want to know what it is like before then. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I have made my Golden Camel Latte soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up in any comments down below. Don't forget to come and follow along with me over on Instagram, and this soap will be available in about mid-January. So thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, I hope you have a great one and I will see you then. Bye.